Why, hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2 here in Community Resources and Corrections. We're moving along rather rapidly. Our first exam is going to be due before the end of this week, and you've got a couple people that need to catch up a little bit. Though part of it was my mistake with an incorrect date. I had the day of the week correct, but the date wrong when I had posted the last week's do this week thing. So with that said, let me go ahead and move out of the way, and we'll talk about what we've got going on this week. This week, we're going to be looking at Chapter 3 in your book on the history of parole and mandatory release. So, like always, watch the video, read the chapter in the book, take the quiz, make at least a 70, but go ahead and retake it till you make 100, because it will help your grade and it will help you on the exams. Part of the exam is going to be questions from the quizzes, so the more you know them, the better. Also, while you're going through the video, while you are watching it, be sure to be completing the discussion number 1, your exam review portion of discussion number 1. It's important that you get that completed before you take the exam, so do it while you're watching the video. It'll make it so much easier. The next chapter we're going to be looking at this week is Chapter 4 on pretrial supervision. The same rules or apply. You have to make at least 70 on Chapter 3 before Chapter 4 will be visible. Like you have to make at least a 70 on Chapter 2 quiz before Chapter 3 is visible. And then you need to submit your discussion question, your original post for discussion number 1. Exam 1 will not be visible until you post it. And I'm going to give you a word of warning. You have to post your discussion. You cannot post a blank discussion. You can't post, something say, I posted this so I could take the exam. You can't take the exam if you don't have a properly completed discussion number 1, which means you have to answer. You got to put something for every question on there. Get something in there. If I look at it and it's like half empty, you're not going to get credit for the exam. You will fail the exam. You're cheating. That's part of this. So just keep that in mind. Do not. I had a student that kept putting, a couple semesters ago, I finally basically threw him out of the class. He failed the course because he would post something or put, this post so I can take the exam. Well, it doesn't work that way. That's part of it. Now, with the discussion, you'll also have to do your follow-up post. Those will be due next week, but I would highly suggest that you complete them before. And for the follow-up post, you're going to look at the original post of other students, and you'll find at least 3 terms. They can be all on the same students. They can be on 3 different other students. You're going to have to find a term that is not blank, that is different from your term that is not blank. And then you'll tell us what the term is. You'll put your answer, you'll put their answer, and then you'll have a discussion of which one's right and which one's wrong. It can simply say, hey, your answer's right because it was in the book and I see mine was wrong. It can be, hey, your answer's good, but I don't think it's right because, in this, at the 3-minute point of the video, Mr. Frost says such and such. So I think my answer is right. Or it can be, hey, I look at it and these both could be the correct answer. And that's going to be probably the more common one. And remember, if theirs is different than yours, you want to incorporate it into your exam review that you're going to use when you take the exam. That's part of the reason for this is people are looking at things from different perspectives. I've even got the grading rubric up here so that you can kind of look at it and see what points you'll get when you do what. So again, the exam review the follow-up posts are not due until the end of next week, next Tuesday, in week 3. But you really want to do them before you take the exam because it will help you with the exam. Now, if you're the first person done with the review and you're ready to take the exam, maybe there's nobody else's material there, but you just kind of either wait or you go with what you've got. The exam will not be visible until you've made 70s on all of the the first 4 chapters quizzes and participate in the discussion. It will consist of 50 questions. You will have to use HonorLock tab, the HonorLock extension, excuse me. That's why we did it on the introductory quiz, so you can see how well it worked. If there are any issues, I think we were able to fix some of the issues that were there, and hopefully everything will go real smoothly with it. If you have a problem, click on the icon and talk to HonorLock. They'll try to get you fixed. So the exam will be 50 questions. You'll have 50 minutes. That is plenty time to take the exam. I highly suggest that you answer every question on the exam before you spend any time reviewing any answers. What you want to do, take you a piece of paper and a pen and set it next to you. As you are going through the exam, if question number 3, you're not real sure about it, give it your best guess and write 3 down on the paper. And as you go down, maybe you've got to look at question 10 and question 20. So when you've completed it and answered the bonus question, which will be on the exam, when you have completed it, then you will go back and look at, let me see, I need to look at question 3. Look it up in your study guide. Use the book to look it up. What you can't do is use Quizlets or, hey, Google, what's the answer to this question? The only thing you can use is the book and your notes. Now, your notes can incorporate answers that other students had in the discussion board, and I'm encouraging you to add their answers to your answers, but you can't take theirs and use it as your study guide. You have to actually incorporate it into your own. You can only have one document open on your computer that is your study guide. So just take all their answers and put them in with yours. Before you start the exam, you want to, if you've got a digital copy of the book, you want to open that copy of the book up and have it running. And you want to open a copy of your exam review so that you don't have to spend part of your 50 minutes doing so. Most semesters I'll have 1 or 2 students who are going to spend 5 or 10 minutes looking up 2 or 3 different answers at the beginning of the test, and they get towards the end and then suddenly it's, I'm running out of time, and they just basically start clicking on answers, or some of them don't even finish it, don't get a chance to answer the bonus question, which is worth 5 points. That's why I say complete everything and then go back and look at your answers. And finally, once you have taken the exam, you can move on to Chapter 5. Chapter 5 will not be visible until you've taken the exam. You don't have to pass the exam, but you have to take the exam. Once you've made an attempt on the exam, you can look at it, and it's going to be looking at case management using risk, needs, responsibility. So again, you'll at this point be working on discussion number 2. So go ahead and print that out or open up the document and start looking for the answers to those questions on discussion number 2. And then finally, the last thing, you need to be working on your research paper. Let me go see how many people have, hopefully everybody has signed up for their topic. So let's get in here, the topic selection sheet. And I've got, I've got 4 names. I don't know who hasn't signed up. Off the top of my head, I will figure it out. But you need to get in here, pick your topic. You should have at least identified the person you're going to interview. Remember, this paper is due in the 3rd week, so you've only got about a week to finish it, a week and a half. You need to get to work on the research paper. You have to complete a research paper to pass the course. You've got to present the research paper by video in order to pass the course. So that's what I've got for you this week. So far, it seems like most people are doing a great job. I really think that you'll learn something for this class, but gotta keep in mind it's only 4 weeks left. It's going fast already, and it will be done before you know it. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I will be back with you next week. Good luck, and do a great job on that exam. Please study before the exam.